Good morning! So right now it's around 5:45 and I'm about to go to crew practice, which takes place at 6 a.m. and we go out on the water today.
I use my bike to ride over to practice, which is at Bank Park, 10 minutes away from my dorm. Once I'm at the docks, I talk to my coach and write down my practice plan for the day. Once my teammates and I get the boats out on the Ashley River, we practice our rowing while being monitored by our coach. I'm a coxswain, so it's my job to call out the rower's technique and any drills we may be practicing. After we row, our coach then comments on our practice.
Alright guys, I'm back home now. As you can tell, it's a bit of a wet row this morning. We got rained on, but hopefully the rest of this day won't be too bad. Alright, so now it's time for my organic chemistry class, which is all the way on the other side of campus. And I have 10 minutes to get to it.
At College of Charleston, all of my classes are within walking distance. On the way there, I usually grab a small snack and coffee if I have time. On Fridays, my 3 classes last 15 minutes each, with 10 minutes between them. And look, we made it to organic chemistry just in time. Let's see what kind of things we can learn today.
So my organic class just got done. Usually what we do is we take notes for the first part of the lecture and then we do some practice problems at the end to really cement it. Now normally I would be rushing to my behavioral neuroscience class, which is 10 minutes after my organic class. But today that class got canceled, so I'm going to go get some coffee and some breakfast.
With so much going on in college, it's important to use free time wisely. So while I wait for my next class, I'm looking over my notes from behavioral neuroscience. After that, I'll have my learning and conditioning class at 11 and a quick lunch right after.
So now that I'm all finished with lunch, I'm going to MUSC for my lab, and I'll also be taking MUSC tour. So MUSC is the medical university we have here in Charleston. So that is where I do research, and that's also where I want to go to medical school.
Once again, I use my bike to ride over to MUSC, which is only 5 minutes from the College of Charleston campus. MUSC is comprised of many different schools of medicine, as well as the University Hospital and the Basic Science Building, where a lot of MUSC research takes place, and that is also where I work.
So at MUSC, I'm in a neuroscience lab, and we're studying reward pathways of the brain.
Let me give you guys a lab tour. First, we use our badges to get in the door. On the right is our electrophysiology room, where we can record data from live brain cells. Here are soundproof behavioral boxes, in which mice are classically conditioned to lick sucrose during certain tones. Coming around the corner here, we have our electrical boards that go into the behavioral boxes. And then, right across the room, we have an area for stereotactic surgery. Next, we have our 2-photon microscope, which allows us to view a thin section of brain cells. And finally, we have an area for making solutions, plus various lab equipment, and we even have a 3D printer.
So before the MUSC tour, I'm going to have a short meeting with my PI to discuss my progress in the lab, and then we'll go take the tour.
The PI is the principal investigator, responsible for overseeing lab research. Here we discuss the topic of my summer research project, as well as any other information relevant to the lab. If you're interested in checking out our research, you can find a link to our website in the description.
So now that I'm all done with that lab meeting, I'm going to go tour.
Since I'm already at MUSC, I took a quick walk over to the presentation room, enjoying the beauty of the campus. After the presentation, we can begin our MUSC tour.
So tell me, what did you think of that presentation?
I'm overwhelmed.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm very competitive, kind of worried, but that's okay. We got time.
Yeah. Good thing we're freshmen, right?
During the tour, we got to check out MUSC's telemedicine center, which you see here, as well as the patient simulation labs for medical school students.
Alright, hey guys! So I just got back from the tour. It was a lot of information, but very helpful. So right now I'm just walking back upstairs to my lab, which is at MUSC, and we're just gonna find out what I'm doing today. Alright, so right now I'm working on cover slipping some of our microscope slides. So basically, once we cut up our brain sections, we put them on these slides. And as you can see, they're very tiny. Tiny brain sections. So what we do is we put slips on them so that we can look at them under a microscope and we don't have to worry about them getting damaged in the process. So I just put a bunch of solution onto the slides. And then I take a cover slip and then I just put it right on top of the brain sections. So once the cover slips are on there, I just make sure there are no air bubbles and then we're good to go.
As you guys can see, sometimes it takes a while before the process is done completely.
See, these are finished brain sections, all ready for the microscope once they dry. So for my undergraduate research, I come to the lab 8 hours a week, 4 on Mondays and 4 on Fridays. And usually I get my daily assignments once I come into the lab, and sometimes they'll be learning how to do a new procedure, learning how to do a surgery, doing things like cutting up brain sections, putting them on slides, mounting them. Recently I've been learning how to do surgeries on mice so that I can be prepared for my summer research project.
Okay, so right now we're making some new modifications to this design. So what this does is that it holds brain slices in solution so that they don't fall down to the bottom of a beaker, but they stay up and they get oxygenated.
So this is the fun part of the lab. We're working on a dragon puzzle right now.
It's all fun, Liza.
After helping on the puzzle, I say bye to the Otis lab for the weekend.
So after my lab day is done, I will go ride my bike back to campus, and then I will get ready for church and then ride my bike to church.
Riding my bike through the beautiful streets of Charleston during the spring is a wonderful experience. The trees are blooming and the architecture is amazing. On my way back, I get to see lots of pretty sights.
So as you can tell, I ride my bike everywhere. Get a lot of good exercise that way.
After my bike ride, I grab a quick dinner and review my songs for choir, then change into church clothes.
Alright, time to get back on the bike. Hope it doesn't rain again.
The church I attend in Charleston is the Greek Orthodox Church of the Holy Trinity. Most of the service is in English, although the choir sings mostly in Greek. The church itself is beautiful and is decorated with many icons, in addition to its many paintings. You can see the large ones behind the altar, as well as on the ceiling. After arriving to church, I change into my choir robe and put on a headscarf.
Alright, so I just got out of church. Today we were singing Salutations to the Virgin Mary. So it wasn't a full service, but it was still a nice way to end my Friday. So now I'll be heading back home and hopefully taking a breather. Alright, so now I'm back home and I have to go meet a friend for dinner in about 30 minutes, but then I'm getting home and I'm going to hit the sack because I am tired. And I also want to get up early tomorrow to volunteer for the bridge run, so I'll also be doing that. So, hey, so this is Riley.
Hello.
What did you think of the road today?
I thought it was fantastic. I have crazy blisters on my hands now, but I'm just glad that we got to go out on the water. So,
Yeah, hashtag rower problems.
oh my gosh, yeah, rowing. Love it.
Alright, so I just got back from dinner with Riley, and I'm literally about to crash into bed. Literally, everybody's going out because it's a Friday night, and then there's me going to bed at 9 p.m. So to finish out the day before I go to get ready for bed, I always do some studying beforehand just to really cement what I learned. So here are some of my chemistry notes from today, and I didn't really have any other notes, but so I'll be reviewing these, maybe do some chemistry flashcards, and then get ready for bed. Finally getting into bed. Good night, y'all.